This is part 2 of geometric sequences and series. Example 4. Two terms of a geometric sequence are a sub 3 is equal to 48 and a sub 6 is equal to 3072. Find a rule for the nth term. If I'm going to find a rule for the nth term, I need to know my formula, which is a sub n is equal to a sub 1 times r raised to the n minus 1. In this problem, I don't know what a sub 1 is equal to. I also don't know what r is equal to. So I need to find both of these before I can write the formula. I'm going to find the common ratio first. If I know a sub 6 and I know a sub 3, I know that a sub 6 is equal to a sub 3 times the ratio raised to the third power. So that means 3072 is equal to 48 times the ratio cubed. If I divide both sides by 48, I get 64, which is equal to r cubed, and taking the cube root of both sides tells me that r is equal to 4. The next thing I need to do is find a sub 1. And to find a sub 1, I can use a sub 3, because a sub 3 would be equal to a sub 1 times r times r. So a sub 3 is equal to a sub 1 times r squared. A sub 3 is 48, is equal to a sub 1 times the ratio is 4 that I just calculated, squared. So 48 is equal to a sub 1 times 16. A sub 1 is equal to 3. Now I can put both of these numbers, the 4 for r and the 3 for a sub 1, into the formula to find the nth term. So a sub n is equal to 3 times my ratio raised to the n minus 1. And I can simplify this by using order of operations. That's 4 to the n times 4 to the negative 1, because when I multiply with the same base, I add exponents. So this is 3 times 4 to the n times 1 over 4. The negative exponent here means do the reciprocal. So a sub n is equal to 3/4 times 4 raised to the nth power. This brings us to some more vocabulary. A geometric series is an expression formed by adding the terms of a geometric sequence. So whereas my sequence was 1, 3, 9, 27, with commas separating these, I take 1 times 3 is 3, times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. A series adds these terms together. So it would be 1 plus 3 plus 9 plus 27, and this would be equal to s sub 4, because I have 4 terms. The formula for a sum of a finite geometric series is below. The sum s sub n of the first n terms of a geometric series with a common ratio r net equal to 1 is s sub n is equal to a sub 1 times the quantity 1 minus r to the nth divided by the quantity 1 minus r. So now we're going to use this new formula. In example 5, we're going to consider the geometric series -7, -14, -28, -56, -112, and so on. And we're going to find the sum of the first 10 terms. If I know the ratio, and I think you can see the ratio right now is 2, what I could do is I could calculate the next 5 terms and then just add them together, but that's really pretty wimpy. So we're going to use the formula. Now I'm going to say that you didn't realize that the ratio is 2. If you didn't notice that, what you would know is that a sub 2 is equal to a sub 1 times a ratio. So -14 is equal to -7 times a ratio. And if I divide both sides by -7, I get r is equal to -2. Now, to find my sum, I'm going to use this formula again. The sum of the first n terms is a sub 1 times 1 minus r to the n over 1 minus r. A sub 1 is equal to negative 7. That's right here. There's my a sub 1. Times 1 minus my ratio raised to the nth over 1 minus my ratio again, which is 2. And now I want to simplify this. Negative 7 times 1 minus 2 to the nth divided by negative 1. And this would give me 7, positive 7, because I have negative 7 times a negative 1. It's a positive 7 times the quantity 1 minus 2 to the n. Example 6. Consider the geometric series negative 7 plus 14 minus 28 plus 56 minus 112 and so on. Find n such that s sub n is equal to negative 77. I need to remember my formula again. S sub n is equal to a sub 1 times 1 minus r to the nth over 1 minus r. I have a sub 1. A sub 1 is negative 7. I need to find my ratio. I'll bet you can see that negative 7 times negative 2 would give you 14, times negative 2 would give you negative 28. So my ratio is negative 2. And now I need to find s sub n. So s sub n is equal to a sub 1, which is negative 7, times 1 minus negative 2 raised to the nth over 1 minus negative 2. This is the same as negative 7 times 1 minus negative 2 to the nth divided by 3, which gives me negative 7 thirds times 1 minus negative 2 to the nth. If I wanted to distribute that negative 7 thirds, I would have negative 7 thirds plus 7 thirds times negative 2 raised to the nth. This is a plus because I'm taking a negative times a negative, which would give me a positive. Now, if s sub n is equal to negative 77, I need to find n. So negative 77 is equal to, I'm going to use this formula. I don't know what n is. Negative 7 thirds plus 7 thirds times negative 2 raised to the nth. When I add 7 thirds to both sides, I get negative 224 over 3, which is equal to the 7 thirds times negative 2 raised to the nth. And now I want to multiply by the reciprocal because my goal is to get the variable by itself. I want to find n. So I need to multiply both sides by 3/7. And when I do this, I end up with negative 32 is equal to negative 2 raised to the nth. Remember that when you do sequences in series, n is going to be a positive integer. So we know that the answers are always going to turn out really nice if I'm trying to solve for n. So if negative 2 raised to the nth is negative 32, n must be 5. And finally we come to example number 7, complete with visuals. On eBay, the Lego Star Wars Jabba's Sail Barge was sold for $150. The value of the set increases by 3% per year. How much will Jabba's sail barge be worth in 9 years? When the person that pays $150 for Jabba's sail barge buys it, his first term is going to be $150. Now be careful when you get the ratio, because every year it's increasing by 3%. I don't want to say that my ratio is 3%. My ratio is actually 1.03. Because if it's going up in value 3% each year, you're going to have 100% of the $150 plus an additional 3%. So that's why it's 1.03. We're asked to find the value after 9 years, so that must mean that n is equal to 9. So I'm going to go back to the formula to find a term because I don't want to be adding the first year plus the second year plus the third year and get a series. I'm looking for that individual term. So I want to use the formula a sub n is equal to a sub 1 times r raised to the n minus 1. So a sub 9 is going to be the $150 times my ratio, 1.03 raised to the 8th power. And then just by using a calculator, that's about 190.02. So after 9 years, the set will be worth approximately $190.02. Thanks for watching.